In The Mandate of Heaven, Michael Wood's thesis was mostly correct, though he omitted important elements and events of violence and materialism throughout the history of Chinese civilization. Granted, Michael Wood accurately portrayed the nonviolent, harmonious components of Chinese civilization, such as reverence for ancestors and elders, peaceful belief systems, and the mandate of heaven. In Chinese society, a respect for ancestors and elders was considered one of the main goals of human endeavor. Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism, the main religions of China, promoted morality and virtue within the society. The Mandate of Heaven, a philosophy deeply rooted in Chinese culture, states that a heaven would repeal the power of a ruler who did not govern justly, which fostered an obligation to rule virtuously. However, Michael Wood's omission of the period of the Warring States, the aristocracy's power based on material wealth, and bronze and iron technology somewhat invalidates his thesis. During the period of the Warring States, a violent and turbulent epoch of Chinese history, the struggle for power between the seven states proves that violence was key to the development of Chinese civilization. Through war and conquest, the Chinese aristocracy gained power through material wealth, proving that Chinese culture was indeed materialistic. The developments of bronze and iron technology led to advanced weaponry used in battles, which were prevalent throughout Chinese history. Michael Wood asserts that Chinese culture has been more peaceful and respectful of nature compared to its Western counterparts, which resort to violence. Michael Wood accurately identified the peaceful, nonviolent elements that make Chinese culture appear idealistically harmonious: religious and spiritual beliefs, reverence for ancestors, and the mandate of heaven. He states that the three major belief systems of China, Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism, promoted a moral order on earth sustained by virtue, ritual, and a reverence for ancestors. He argues that these concepts embodied the Chinese way of life. These beliefs encouraged people to strive for a harmonious way of life. The moral order on earth was preserved by the virtue and ritual of the harmonious way of life, as well as a strong respect for ancestors. This concept has been deeply rooted in Chinese society throughout its history, though was officially codified by Confucius. The Chinese believed that power did not stem from the control of nature, but of the... Finally, the mandate of heaven, an ancient philosophy of Chinese culture, determines whether a ruler is worthy of governing by his virtuosity or lack thereof. The mandate of heaven guarantees a moral order in politics, as heaven would remove a corrupt and dishonest leader from power. Michael Wood's Mandate of Heaven did exclude several key events of violence and materialism in Chinese culture. Throughout most of China's history, there has been fighting and war over territory and power. There have been developments in weapon technology, and ancient aristocracies would gain power through conquest and material wealth. These examples of Chinese wrongdoings are all omitted from the Mandate of Heaven, partially invalidating Wood's thesis. The Warring States period is a prime example of the Chinese violence which was excluded from Wood's Mandate of Heaven. During the period, there were thousands left dead after continuous fighting between the several city-states of China, who were looking to gain power. The developments of weapon technology also resulted from this period, including the perfection of the crossbow and the chariot. The Chinese may have even been the first to use a crossbow, aiding in the invention of one of the most deadly weapons of the ancient world. Recently, China has continued their progress in weapon technology. They are one of only a few countries to have advanced nuclear weapons and have one of the most powerful militaries in the world. Finally, Chinese aristocracies gained their power through their materialistic wealth and conquest of other cities and states. The Chinese Empire did not grow because of peace. It grew because of war. Michael Wood clearly missed several instances of violence and materialism in China throughout his Mandate of Heaven. In conclusion, Michael Wood accurately portrays elements of peace and harmony in Chinese culture, although he omits violence and materialism, which was present throughout the history of China. Three major belief systems: reverence for ancestors and elders, peaceful religious views, and the Mandate of Heaven, prove that Chinese culture was somewhat nonviolent compared to Western society. However, despite Michael Wood's idealistic view of society, key aspects of violence, such as the period of the Warring States, materialism of the aristocracy, and development of bronze and iron technology, contradict his thesis. Chinese culture parallels Western culture in certain negative ways that do not appear in the Mandate of Heaven. Nonetheless, violence and conflict throughout Chinese history played a crucial role in shaping Chinese society, belief systems, and development up to the modern age.